You think you're bringing home like a standard issue golden retriever,
Oh,
like
absolutely. The classic movie dog.
right. You expect this goofy, fetch-obsessed family dog, but then, you get them home, and instead of a playful goofball, you realize you're dealing with a deeply sensitive roommate.
A roommate who requires you to keep a backup stash of their favorite squeaky squirrel.
Exactly. Just to cope with, like, a loud Tuesday afternoon.
It really is the ultimate bait and switch. I mean, we rely so heavily on breed stereotypes.
I totally do.
We just assume a cat will act exactly like a standard cat and a dog will act like a standard dog.
Hmm.
But, the reality of sharing your home with an animal is a wildly unpredictable dynamic.
It really is. Well, welcome to the English Boost podcast. Today, we are tearing up those standard behavioral boxes.
Because we're looking at something that completely reframes how we understand the animals living in our houses.
Yeah, we're taking the concept of energy profiling, which is, a framework usually reserved for human personalities, and we are applying it directly to our pets.
It is such a fascinating lens to look through.
Our mission today is to decode the 4 distinct energy types found in the animal kingdom, so you can figure out exactly how your furry friend moves through the world.
And more importantly, how you can stop miscommunicating with them.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because when we talk about a pet's energy, my immediate assumption was that this is just a highly categorized way of tracking an animal's life cycle.
Right, like the battery life.
Yeah, like a puppy is hyper, a senior dog is tired. Are we just tracking battery life here?
It's a very natural first assumption, honestly. We always equate energy with youth and exhaustion with age.
Exactly.
But what's fascinating here is that this system is not about age at all. And it's not even about breed. We are talking about lifelong fundamental traits.
So it's not something they grow out of?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Think of this as the operating system your pet is running on, not their current battery percentage.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right. So a naturally high energy type will retain that core behavioral spark, that need for stimulation, even when their physical body slows down at like age 14.
And I guess the reverse is true too.
Exactly. A naturally calm type was likely a surprisingly mellow, observant puppy.
Yeah.
It is just their innate nature from day one.
So it's the software they're permanently wired with, but you mentioned earlier that this profile isn't just behavioral.
Yeah, it's physical too.
Right. It's determined by physical movement, their features, and even their coloring. I have to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Wait for it.
The idea that my dog's physical shape or fur color dictates their personality, that sounds a little bit like astrology for pets.
I completely understand the skepticism. I really
Yeah.
do. But if we look at it through the lens of biology and biomechanics, it actually makes perfect sense.
Okay, walk me through that.
Well, form follows function, right?
Yeah.
An animal that are built for sudden, explosive movement often has physical features to reflect that.
Like sharper angles, a leaner build.
Exactly. Their nervous system is physically wired for reactivity and high stimulation, which manifests as what we casually call a high-energy temperament.
That makes a ton of sense.
On the other hand, an animal with softer, rounder features, what we might describe as S-curves, often possesses a biological makeup suited for sustained low-impact pacing.
So they're just built differently on a foundational level?
Yeah. Their resting heart rate, their muscle tension, and their baseline nervous system are all naturally lower. So the physical geometry isn't mystical at all.
It's a direct reflection of the biological hardware supporting their behavioral software.
You nailed it. It's about how they carry themselves through space and how they process environmental stimuli.
All right, let's see how this actually plays out in a real home. Because once you understand these 4 distinct profiles, it's like someone hands you the translation manual for your pet.
It really is a game changer.
Let's start with the most outward visible expression of energy. We're looking at type 1, which the source material calls the fun-loving pet.
The defining characteristics for a type 1 are just incredibly vibrant. We're talking keywords like light, uplifting, bright, animated, and fresh.
Animated is the perfect word. These are basically the Peter Pans of the pet world.
Yes, they maintain this completely youthful appearance and a permanent cute factor their entire lives.
But it's not just that they are playful, right? Their need for engagement is constant. I read the description and thought, this is like living with an improv comedian who is always waiting for you to say, yes, and.
That's a brilliant way to put it. Because they are so light on their feet and deeply stimulated by interaction, their care requirements go far beyond like a standard walk around the block.
They need more than just physical exertion.
Oh, absolutely. A rigid, predictable routine is essentially torture for a type 1. They require random fun.
Random fun. I love that.
Yeah, they need spontaneous physical exercise and, crucially, rapid-fire mental exercise to get those dopamine hits.
The source material gave a perfect example of this. There's a dog named Lily.
Oh, Lily's the ultimate type 1.
Right. Her owner, Christine, says that Lily's tail will start wagging joyfully if Christine so much as just glances in her direction.
Just from eye contact.
Yeah, she doesn't even have to say a word.
Yeah.
Just making eye contact triggers this huge outward bouncing excitement.
And notice how that energy manifests physically.
Yeah.
Lily goes on these completely random, unexpected runs. She'll just veer off in different directions.
Because her nervous system is so highly tuned to the immediate stimuli.
Exactly. Everything in her environment is an exciting possibility.
And when Christine trains her, Lily moves incredibly fast from one command to the next. But it's not because she's some highly disciplined military-style working dog.
No, it's out of sheer, unadulterated excitement for whatever is happening right now in that exact moment.
If you have a type 1, you know it. They are the perpetually excited toddlers of the animal kingdom.
Which means, as an owner, you have to honestly ask yourself if you have the bandwidth for that.
Right. Do you want a roommate who wants to play a random game of hide-and-seek at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday?
It is a massive commitment of mental energy. If you are naturally a low-energy person, pairing yourself with a type 1 pet can create a lot of friction in the household.
Because they will constantly demand a level of engagement you might not have to give.
Exactly.
Which perfectly sets up our next profile. Let's say you do not want the perpetual toddler. You want the introverted roommate who just quietly reads a book on the couch while you're in the room.
The dream for a lot of people, honestly.
This brings us to type 2, the sensitive pet.
The shift in frequency here is dramatic. We move from the bright and bouncy to keywords like soft, subtle, graceful, calm, and connected.
It's a profoundly inward-focused energy.
Yes, and this is where that physical geometry we discussed earlier really comes into play. Type 2 pets often have very muted coloring.
And their physical features are softer.
Right. These are the gentle, blended appearances. They naturally rest in those relaxed S-curves we talked about.
They just look softer.
From an evolutionary standpoint, muted coloring often correlates with blending in, avoiding conflict, and prioritizing safety over dominance.
Which perfectly aligns with their temperament.
Exactly. Their muscle tone is generally more relaxed. They aren't coiled like springs. They are fluid.
They are the ultimate cuddlers. They derive deep comfort from companionship, leaning into you, just wanting to share your space.
But there is a real vulnerability here, too.
Yeah, the source noted that a type 2 pet is often shy. They can easily become intimidated by louder noises or bigger, more aggressive animals.
They are absolutely not the ones starting a turf war at the dog park.
No, they are the ones hiding behind your legs, hoping the conflict passes.
Which means their care requirements are heavily emotionally focused. They crave consistency, safety, and deep connection.
There was one detail about type 2s that I found so incredibly endearing.
Oh, the backup toy.
Yes. Because they form such profound emotional attachments to things that make them feel secure, you should actually buy backups of their favorite toy.
You literally need a secret stash of that one specific squeaky squirrel.
Because if they lose it, they don't just, move on to a tennis ball. They will be genuinely, deeply heartbroken. It disrupts their entire sense of security.
It's so true. They need dedicated one-on-one time and a lot of gentle reassurance when introduced to new environments.
Take Ralphie, for instance.
Oh,
He's a therapy dog owned by Stacy. And Ralphie is a big, floppy animal with a super soft coat.
he's a total gentle giant. Stacy describes walking him not as exercise, but as a stroll.
Right, he never pulls out in front on the leash to lead. He prefers to walk slightly behind them.
And he never jumps on people. He just walks up and kind of leans his entire body weight against them.
Operating under the assumption that everyone naturally wants to gently pet him.
Which, I mean, they do.
Eh.
And that innate calming frequency is what makes him a perfect therapy dog. He doesn't challenge the environment. He absorbs it and radiates calm.
So, if you're listening, and your pet's first instinct when the doorbell rings is to retreat and wait for you to tell them it's safe, you are likely living with a Type 2 gentle soul.
The contrast between Lily, the bouncy Type 1, and Ralphie, the leaning Type 2, is just stark.
It really is. But what happens when we move away from the pets that accommodate our space to the pets that outright demand it?
Oh boy.
Here's where it gets really interesting. We are pivoting to the absolute rulers of the house. Type 3, the determined pet.
The atmosphere changes completely with a Type 3. The keywords are active, reactive, swift, dynamic, and confident.
These are the bosses, They are independent, loud, rowdy, and unapologetically pushy.
Unapologetic is the perfect word. And biologically, this is where we see those deep angles and sharp points in their physical appearance.
They might even have irregular exotic coloring, right?
Yeah. But what defines a type 3 more than anything is the sheer weight of their presence. They have immense kinetic potential.
Even when they are sitting still, they look like they are vibrating with readiness.
Because of this, they create an intense, substantial feeling in any room they enter, completely regardless of their actual physical size.
They take up enormous energetic space.
They really do.
And the ultimate proof of this is the example of a Type 3 the source highlights. It's not a 100-pound guard dog. It's a cat.
A small cat named Scuggy.
Which translates to shadow in Icelandic, by the way. Her owner, Katie, lovingly calls her a little scoundrel.
And Scuggy's behavior is the textbook definition of pushy.
It really is. She wakes Katie up every single morning by aggressively shoving a cold nose into hers.
Just demanding attention.
She knocks things off the bedside table just to get a reaction. She will literally walk straight across Katie's face if she feels she isn't getting the right amount of attention.
She loudly dictates the terms of the household.
She pushes Katie out of specific spots on the couch just for her own comfort.
And somehow, despite being a small feline, she manages to take up a ridiculous amount of room on the bed.
It is hilarious because it's the ultimate irony. You have this tiny, exotic-looking creature who has managed to completely dominate a human being's living space.
But it perfectly illustrates that type 3 kinetic energy. It's big, it's highly reactive, and it absolutely refuses to be ignored.
It's like living with a startup CEO who drinks 5 espressos and demands a status update at 6 a.m.
That is painfully accurate. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, recognizing this type 3 dynamic is vital for maintaining a peaceful home.
How so?
Well, these pets are naturally athletic, and their nervous systems are wired to go, go, go. If you do not actively honor their active reactive nature by providing swift, significant physical outlets.
That trapped energy is going to mutate.
Exactly. It won't just fade away. It will manifest as severe behavioral issues or destruction.
Right. If Scuggy isn't getting enough stimulation, she's not going to just sigh and take a nap like a type 2 would.
No, she is going to actively find a way to make her boredom your immediate problem.
You cannot expect a type 3 pet to adopt a leisurely lifestyle. It goes against their fundamental biological wiring.
They need a job, they need intense play, and they need boundaries that respect their drive.
Which brings us to our final profile. We're leaving the chaotic, demanding disruptors behind and entering the realm of the silent, judging philosophers of the animal kingdom.
The philosophers. I love that.
We are talking about type 4, the serious pet.
The frequency of a type 4 is profoundly grounded. The keywords are bold, constant, poised, serene, and reflective.
I always picture these pets as the ones sitting at the top of the stairs, just staring down at you, silently pondering the meaning of life.
They are very dignified, still, refined, mature, and undeniably regal.
And visually, they possess a very mature appearance from a young age, right?
Yes. They stand remarkably tall, with excellent posture, and when they move, they take long, deliberate, measured strides.
There is no frantic bouncing here.
None. Everything is calculated.
And unlike the other 3 types, a type 4 highly values their autonomy and their alone time. They aren't constantly seeking out enthusiastic affection.
In fact, if you approach them with that frantic, high-pitched type 1 energy.
Like vigorously rubbing their belly and shouting, "Who's a good boy?"
Exactly. If you do that, they might actively pull away. It disrupts their serene baseline.
Because their processing speed is different.
Yeah, they require cognitive space to evaluate their environment, assess risk, and determine their own comfort levels.
Because they are so dignified and self-possessed, you absolutely cannot force a type 4 pet to do anything.
They respond strictly to patience, respect, and predictability. Strict daily routines are incredibly supportive for their nervous systems.
Because they like to understand exactly how their world operates.
Right. To interact with them successfully, you have to mirror their energy. Slower, calmer, more confident movements.
It's like dealing with a tenured university professor. They will engage with you, but only if you approach them with the proper decorum.
The story of Christine and her type 4 dog, Spencer, captures this dynamic perfectly.
Oh, Spencer is fascinating.
When Christine gives Spencer a command, he responds slowly. But it is not because he is stubborn or because he doesn't understand the command.
No, Christine says she can literally feel him pausing, waiting to be the one to decide he is actually going to do it.
He hears the command, he knows exactly what she wants, but he needs it to be his idea.
He is actively retaining his autonomy.
He is evaluating the request. He recognizes that Christine is the provider of food and care, but this completely dismantles the old-school, outdated concept of dog training.
Right, the whole break their will mentality.
For decades, people thought you had to project this aggressive, dominant alpha energy to force compliance from an animal.
But a type 4 dog like Spencer exposes the flaw in that logic.
Completely. He respects the leader only because they have earned that respect through fairness and consistency, not because they demanded it through intimidation.
If you try to dominate a type 4, they will just shut down and completely withdraw their cooperation.
This raises an important question, doesn't it? Because looking at type 4 energy really holds up a mirror to the listener.
It really does. It forces us to examine how we handle authority, not just with our pets, but in our lives.
Are you the kind of owner who forces compliance through sheer repetition and intimidation? Or are you willing to negotiate a partnership and earn mutual respect?
A type 4 pet will instantly mirror your level of respect.
If you honor their boundaries and use high-value motivation, they are usually highly motivated by premium treats or specific rewards, they will cooperate flawlessly.
But they do it out of a negotiated mutual respect, never out of fear.
It completely flips the script. You aren't managing a subordinate. You are cohabitating with a very serious, very furry colleague who happens to appreciate a strict dinner schedule.
It's the ultimate lesson in interspecies diplomacy.
It really is.
So what does this all mean for you listening at home? We've explored the bouncing, joyful type 1 toddler, the soft, cuddly type 2 introvert,
The intense, demanding type 3 disruptor.
and the dignified, serious type 4 philosopher. Synthesizing all of this, the biggest takeaway is that identifying your pet's energy type is not a parlor trick.
No, it is a highly practical, actionable framework for empathy.
It's about meeting them where they actually are rather than where you wish they were.
Yes. Once you truly understand their biological and emotional baseline, you can stop fighting against their natural instincts.
You can stop forcing your type 4 to endure frantic belly rubs they hate.
You can realize your type 2 isn't being stubborn when they hide, they are just overwhelmed and need comfort.
You can finally give your type 3 the rigorous, exhausting exercise they desperately crave to keep them from destroying your couch.
It is the literal blueprint for removing friction and creating a deeply harmonious home.
And as we reflect on this entire framework of innate energy, it leaves me pondering a much deeper, almost philosophical dynamic between humans and the animals we choose to bring into our lives.
We've established today that these core energies are innate to the pet from birth. But over years of deep cohabitation, a fascinating question emerges.
What's that?
Do our pets subtly adapt and shift their energy type to align with ours over time as a profound bonding mechanism?
Oh, wow.
Or, conversely, do we subconsciously seek out and choose pets whose energy perfectly complements or even perfectly mirrors our own hidden nature from the very first moment we lock eyes with them?
Are we slowly molding them to fit our lives, or are we just intuitively picking our energetic soulmates right from the start?
That is a profound thought to chew on the next time your dog or cat does something incredibly specific to their personality.
I want to warmly thank you for joining us on this exploration today. We hope this has handed you a brand new lens through which to view your furry best friend.
Your homework for today is simple. Tonight, just sit back, watch how your pet moves through your house.
Look at their posture, how they react to a sudden noise, how they demand or politely request their dinner.
See if you can figure out which of the 4 types is staring back at you. The answers really are all in the movement.
Exactly, because as we learned today, that unpredictability you face when bringing a new animal into your home, it might not be a mystery after all.
The instruction manual is right there, hiding in plain sight.
Just waiting for you to learn the language. Until next time, keep observing and keep learning.